Hello, LEGO Minecraft Bros here with our completed LEGO Marvel's Avengers Infinity War LEGO dioramas. Today we'll go over the 9 different dioramas that we've set up, including New York, Space, Scotland, Wakanda, Nidavellir, Vormir, Titan, Upstate New York, and Nowhere. So this is our first diorama, Space, as you can see by the title card meant to mimic the movie. If we start over on the left-hand side, we can see we have a little Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Easter egg with Uatu, the Watcher, and one of their informants, Stan Lee, sitting right there. Then if we move over, we can see we got Ebony Maw floating in space there after his untimely demise in the Q-ship. And then, in the center of the diorama, we have the big element of this setup, which is the Statesman ship, which is seen at the beginning of the movie, where the Asgardians were living until Thanos came with the Power Stone and laid wreck to the ship. So what you see on the outside is pretty much the main part of the ship. We have a gyrosphere element over there, Valkyrie on the roof trying to escape, which we know she does. On the inside, there's no special elements. I can just pick it up right now. We have Loki over there holding the Tesseract, Thanos. Then over here we have Heimdall on the ground. Put that back. And then out of the ship, we have Hulk right there. So Heimdall sent him out to go to the Sanctum Sanctorum. We'll get there in a second. And then above, we have the Benatar, or the Guardians' new ship, with Thor pressed up against the windshield. And inside, we have Star-Lord and Mantis. Nothing else too critical inside. It's just whatever's in the set. Some other cool elements to notice on the ground are the speckles, and some of the Power Blast pieces were meant to mimic nebulas or different solar systems. Then the final ship back here is a different model of the Q-ship. It's a bit smaller, but also just a different style that we chose to make the second Q-ship in. Very interesting. And then, although this is not in the actual diorama, we have a last ship, the Sanctuary 2, which is what Thanos arrives in to lay wreck to the Statesman ship. Here we have the second location from the movie, New York. So not much has changed since our last update. We still have Peter hanging on to the Q-ship right there. Different design again from space. We have Tony coming in with his nanotech armor, blasting away Cull Obsidian and Ebony Maw. That's an addition, Cull Obsidian right there. We've also added in a Doctor Strange with some time stone spell type things, and Bruce Banner not being able to turn into the Hulk right there. Another change is we finally got the Tony Stark in his special sweater vest that allows the nanotech to go around him right there with Pepper Potts. And we have Ant-Man on the roof of this building. So here we have the insides of the other buildings in New York. If we come over here first, it's Peter Parker's apartment building. Up top we got Peter Parker in his Quiz League uniform and a bag with his Spider-Man suit in it that Tony Stark returned. We also have his backpack up there. On the second floor, comes with the set, it's his laboratory. And on the final floor, we have the pizzeria with a scared cop for the battle that's going on outside. The next building is the Sanctum Sanctorum. And on the final floor, we just have a Hulk minifigure crashed on the floor. Nice little Easter egg there. This next building, which has Ant-Man on the top of it, remember, has Captain America's apartment from the first Avengers movie, where he has his boxing bag. On the next floor, we have Stark Industries. We have their growth charts there. And then in here, we have the arc reactor, the big one from the first movie. Just a nice little Easter egg. And on the final floor, this is why Ant-Man's at the top of the building, we have Pym Tech from the first Ant-Man movie. We have a security guard and a little penguin that they're experimenting on shrinking. If we look over here, just final little Easter egg. This was in our last video, but the Have taxi cab from where Bruce Banner entered the park, and Cull Obsidian's hand. Now we arrive in our third diorama, Scotland, which takes place in the train station where Cap, Nat, and Sam arrive to save the day. They save Scarlet Witch and Vision from an impending attack from Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive. So over here on the train platform, we can see Scarlet Witch in her civilian clothes protecting an injured Vision from Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight right there. But Proxima Midnight's spear is missing. It went to the other side of the train track over there where Captain America has caught it. Very, very cool. We can also see Falcon coming in, swooping in with his machine guns, ready to strike. And Black Widow over here with her electricity sticks coming to save the day. A couple cool additions that we made to this diorama are the train in here. So this is the train that passes right before Captain America captures the spear. We also have the restaurant that Falcon kicks Proxima Midnight through. And yeah, that's the basic setup of this diorama. The area that saw the most radical improvement since the last time is probably Nowhere. So here we can see, if we go to the starting area, this is for the entrance to the collector's area. Half of it's on fire to represent how Thanos made it appear like it wasn't destroyed, but then slowly it appeared that it was. So inside the entrance, half of it's covered in fire. We can also see a blue man in there, which is a reference to the Blue Man artifact that Thanos had, also a reference to the show Arrested Development. Then if we go in, we can immediately see Thanos has gotten the Reality Stone, and he's used it to split up Drax, and we can see a scared Mantis over on this side. We can also see a Star-Lord coming to face Thanos with his gun, but unfortunately his bullets have turned to bubbles. And then up top, we have Gamora ready to jump and attack Thanos, just like she did in the movie. Now, if we look at some of the background details, we can see this yellow structure, which is a recreation of what was seen in the movie. And then a bunch of the collector's different collection stalls. We can see the collector himself is in one of them, waving goodbye. And in the other one, we have a custom Howard the Duck and Cosmo the Dog minifigure and animal. Now, if we look at the grander picture, we can see that outside it looks like a very Nowhere-esque place with some bins on fire holding different random things, a light over here, and another one of the collector's areas, this time holding a Nova Corps, and on top, one of the mining shuttles that is seen in Nowhere. So here's another completely new area. It's Vormir. So out front, we have the sandy area with some of the water that Thanos eventually teleports to and gets a Soul Stone. But the main aspect, one of the most imposing structures in our entire diorama, is the mountain. So we can see that there's a path starting here. It spirals around the back. We go all the way up until we start to see some snow. And then at the top, we see Red Skull, the keeper of the Soul Stone, with his ghost-like legs there. We have the two pillars, the two really big pillars at the top of the mountain, and then some of the small ones. We didn't have room for any more. We know that there's two more behind. And then we can see that Thanos has unfortunately thrown Gamora off of the top, and she's landing on the circle pattern in the bottom. She's in mid-fall. Small Easter egg that we added to this is we see an original Captain America, the first Avenger, Captain America, coming up to attack Red Skull with his original shield and a time stone, just to make it a bit more realistic. Our next diorama is the Avengers facility in upstate New York. One of the main aspects is the Avengers Quinjet, and then below we can see the actual Avengers facility with Cap, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and Falcon making their way inside. We can also see a little golf cart for Happy, which is inspired by the deleted scene from the movie. First, we'll go to the storage facility, which Ant-Man broke into in the first Ant-Man movie, represented by his little mini micro figure there. So this storage facility has a bunch of crucial elements to the superhero suits. If we look inside you see that we see Iron Man's nanotech sword-like thing. We also have a version of Cap's shield wedged in there. We have War Machine's power stick from Civil War, one of the shields that Iron Man used in Infinity War, 2 War Machine masks, and 1 Iron Man mask. Here's a side view of the facility, and if we rotate it all the way back around, we can see that there are some details inside. In the back, on the top floor, we can see some lockers where the Iron Spider suit is stored, locker 17A, and another Iron Man suit. We can also see the room where the Avengers met to discuss the Sokovia Accords with a nice TV screen there. On the lower floor, we see Bruce Banner waiting to greet his fellow Avengers with the phone that he picked off the ground that belonged to Tony from Captain America. And then in this room, we see Rhodey talking to Thunderbolt Ross as a hologram about Tony being missing and all the other Avengers. And then another detail, we have the proton cannon that was seen in that scene, which is just an airplane engine piece. Next up, we have Nidavellir, which is where Thor forges his Stormbreaker axe. It's very shadowy because we have this overarching circle ring structure from the movie. So the first thing that we notice is the beam of energy coming from the dying star, shooting at, I guess it's the energy absorber. We see the fire goes through the cables back there to this pot right here where the metal ingots are melting inside. Very cool. And then this eventually pours into the mold, which produces the pieces of the axe. So now let's get into some of the details. We can see that we have Thor on the ground. He's awakening from his connection to Stormbreaker. He's shooting that energy bolt out to try and go to it. We have Rocket worried for Thor's health. He just took on the full force of a star, as well as Rocket Ship. We took that off of the Benatar. Now that pod is in Nidavellir. Over here we have Groot going to assemble Stormbreaker. He's put his game down. He's going to assemble Stormbreaker. What a good guy. We also have, cool detail, the mold for the Infinity Gauntlet, as small as we can get it, because there's one of those in Nidavellir. Final little detail, not little actually, it's very big. We have a custom giant fig Eitri. So we use the Aquaman brickhead. We gave him metal hands, right, because Thanos made it so his hands could not be used. And just a function where you can slightly move both of the legs. He's going to turn the wheel on that pot to make Stormbreaker. Here we have Titan. Haven't been many changes to this diorama, aside from the additions of some minifigures and some smaller changes. Over here, we have a changed Nebula. She has a more realistic face now, with her energy sticks going to attack Thanos. We have some of the Titan-esque destroyed world aspects right here. And behind one of them, we have Mantis waiting for her time to shine. She has an updated face and hairpiece. And then here is the main battle. So we have Thanos over here. We took out the time and the Mind Stone as per viewer request to be more accurate to the movie. We have Spider-Man, or the Iron Spider, trying to pull the gauntlet off. We have Doctor Strange making the platforms for Star-Lord to jump on and attack Thanos. Then up here we have Tony Stark. This scene is a bit spliced based on where they are in each of the battles, because this doesn't happen until later, but it's when his suit starts to retract and he's trying to defeat Thanos. And we also have an improved Drax minifigure. Final detail is we just put the Time Stone in the top of that building there because Doctor Strange hid it in plain sight. Next up we have Wakanda, whose main addition was just adding a ton more minifigures. If we start over on the left side, we see that we've got an official Rhodey War Machine minifigure right there from the Bricktober sets. We still have the Rocket Bucky setup where Bucky's holding Rocket, fighting a ton of Outriders now. We've added a lot of them. And over here we have two Jabari tribe members, one of them being M'Baku fighting an Outrider, another standard Jabari. And then we have two Dora Milaje. One of them's custom, the one with the gold rings around the arms. They're both using their spears to fight him. Finally, we have two border tribes. One of them we gave a custom energy shield from his cape. And the other one we custom used the two separate capes to try and match the design they had in the movie. If we go over into this corner, we've added a second dropship to the diorama, which is overlooking the fight between Scarlet Witch, Nat, Okoye, and Proxima Midnight. We gave Proxima custom sword there because at first we had her with her spear. Obviously, she doesn't have her spear in this scene. We still have Bucky's little hut over there. Falcon coming in, swooping in to attack. The Thresher still over there. chomping down some people. Over by the waterfall here, we still have the fight between Black Dwarf, Cull Obsidian, and the Outriders overriding the Hulkbuster. I think that we've added one since the last video. Over by the Wakanda wall, we still have Shuri shooting down Outriders, protecting her lab, and we have Thor with an updated cape swooping down to save the day, just like he did in the movie. Now, the final little area is the fight, or the arrival of Captain America with his Wakandan vibranium shields to save Vision from an attack of Corvus Glaive. Very cool.